I'm Andrew Rice.
I'm Luke Summerhays.
I'm James J. Moyles.
I'm James the Jester Stewart.
And I'm Muss.
And you're listening to Monster Mash.
And on this week's episode, we are hunting Goss Harag.
Ooh.
How I did.
They played the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They played the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the...
A fanged beast roaming snowy plains in search of prey. Its body is covered in fur so thick it keeps out the harsh frost. It can inhale the cold air to freeze its own bodily fluids and then spit them out to create icy blades on its arms. When riled up, it turns red and becomes exceedingly dangerous.
Run, run! The beast is on its way. From the snowy depths, it comes to find its prey. With its chilling breath, it forms a blade of ice. Then it goes out hunting for something to excise. One wrong step, and it's too late. The beast hears all, returns irate.
So the ice is, it's like spit or something.
It's his breath,
Yep,
yeah.
sounds like it.
That is vile. I don't like this guy anymore.
That doesn't really put you. He's very much in the Volvodon category now.
That's mean.
He's a growler on his claws, you know.
Yeah, big spit blade.
I really like this guy. He's like one of my favourites.
No, I'm a big fan. Yeah,
just purely like the design is great. But obviously we'll get into that a bit more later. But like the fight in general, the fight is like it's so good. Like it does enough different. I think
He might be my favourite. Might be my favourite new one from Rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got a fair bit of personality to him. He's got. He's always a lot of fun being one of the more beastie ones, right? Like I think that we generally land on that. It's a bit different, a bit more interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
His cool Wolverine claws are definitely, a lot of fun.
I think he stands out as being like one of the most visually arresting monsters. Like I do remember watching the initial trailers, and you see this big lad with like two like ice blade, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" It's just like a Dark Souls enemy or some shit. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Goss Harag, and he definitely stands out as a standout monster.
He got a really cool introduction in his trailer as well.
Yeah, like the Anteca, like getting scared, like the life gets scared right out of them as they step on the twigs. That's great.
Which, yeah, that scene is in his little poem at the start of the hunt. I just want to go back a second because Andy chose to compare him to an X-Man.
Like Wolverine.
Not the one who is
not the actual ice.
Freezing stuff into ice.
Look, he does not have cool claws. He just does big slides everywhere. If Iceman bothers to do some Wolverine claws, then I'll be happy to give him.
Goss doesn't even do like Wolverine claws. It's like one like spike or a club. There's no
they look kind of clawish.
He can produce knives or stabbing weapons.
It's more like T1000 than anything else. Like the Wolverine.
I don't think about Terminators. That's not in my repertoire.
We're kind of talking about the fight with Goss Harag. I think when we were playing through the game, I can't remember who said it, but somebody described it as being like a very much like a duel between you and the Goss Harag. I think it might be you, Luke.
He's definitely one of the ones who's like that. He very rarely flees. Most of his attacks are fairly short range. Even his beam doesn't really go that far. So, and to damage him, you've got to be up in his face.
Yeah.
Like all of his weak points are on his like face and his hands. So yeah, you've just got to square off with him.
Same as that's Capcom like we're going for. Like obviously, it's a monster with his own weapon type. Like it works. Like Jay said, like obviously it's like a Dark Souls like enemy or a boss. Like it really reminds me of like the Undying Ape in Sekiro. Just because it's got the overhead like chops.
Spoilers, mate.
Really?
Spoilers.
Yeah, I just remembered him. I just remember the ape from that game, like wriggling about on the ground like a mad monkey. Whereas Goss Harag's he's got a bit more dignity to him than that.
It's mainly like just like the overhead chops. Like it's more reminiscent of Dark Souls, I guess, because like any boss that has like a big overhead like tracking chop, like Goss Harag does the same thing, and it just makes the fight more like Dark Souls, like you're playing Dark Souls almost with rather than Monster Hunter. Which I really like.
A lot of Monster Hunter monsters, if you want to dodge their attack, you can just roll away from them a little bit. But with Goss Harag, you've kind of got to leave it to the last minute and actually dodge his attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, kind of Dark Soulsy and makes it feel like you're in a boxing match with this thing. Which does feel very cool.
I do think it's a really, really neat touch that he changes it up between clubs and blades on his arms. I don't know if does he ever do double club? I know he does double blades and he does club and blade, but I don't. Has he ever?
I'm pretty sure I've seen
I don't think I've ever seen it, so I would say no.
Maybe.
Now, usually when you get to the club, that's like the end of your night. If you're leaving that club, you're just going home to bed.
Whereas the blade, that's all night long.
Well, see, while you were clubbing, I studied the blade.
It's going to bring it back to what Luke was saying there about like the fighting them like up close, because like if you do back off like too much, you'll break off like the ice claws of the club and like throw them directly at you. It's like another ranged attack that he's got.
Like the
like
shards of
really
ice,
touching
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I do think like one of the coolest moments from the fight though is when I think it's when you get stunned or when you get frozen or something like that. He'll like have the two blades out. He'll have this like really intimidating stance as he just kind of like slowly walks towards you. Like he's just sizing you up, and I think that's probably his most damaging attack when he comes down with the blade afterwards. If you know the move I'm on about.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, he walks up to you and just murders you, basically. The attack that I really love is when he does his big shoulder charge. Afterwards, he does that really anime, like, skid past you and pull himself to a stop with his claw. It's cheesy, but it's a very cool visual. The monster I want to compare him to, and obviously he's not on the same level in terms of difficulty, but he does feel kind of like an Ice Rajang.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a very sort of similar stage in the game that he's at, and you know, the way he's very sort of brutal with his attacks, right? Like he's very punchy and aggressive.
To be fair, I guess it's not like Rajang in this game in particular is that much harder than Goss Harag. It's just that I'm comparing Goss Harag to like my memories of Rajang fucking me up in the past.
Is that just because he's kind of like a beast monster and he's got like the kind of the forearms being the focal point of the design?
Yeah, and then of course the beam as well.
And the beam as well.
They both do a big
definitely
Kamehameha.
Yeah, that's true. I can
he's-
see the similarities.
He sits still a lot more than Rajang. He doesn't jump around. He's a bit more of a stocky. He's a stocky boy. He's not like a life athletic fighter.
Well,
I say life. I remember he's like pot belly, but
But then he is more bearish than monkeyish, apish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
I feel sorry for him a lot of the time because I feel like it really hurts him to, ice up. Like it looks like if you actually look at his arms, they look all horrible and pinky and painful to me. So I feel like maybe he doesn't want to, go Rajang, let's say, on this kind of thing. It's for him, it's a marathon, not a sprint, because you're just his next meal, right?
Well, there is
I
like
don't
a
know.
rage
There's
aspect to it as well, like when he's going into his ice form as well, because his colour changes, his blue face and arms like change from blue to red. Like it's definitely like a rage state for him. Like he doesn't want to be in. He only does it when he has to.
Maybe he should stop gobbing all over his arms then.
there we go, problem solved. Let's move on to the next monster.
Stop gobbing. Next, please.
Sorry, is our role now that we just we give self-help to the
Yeah,
monsters?
I assume this is an agony art podcast. Did I get confused?
Yeah. I mean, if
Dear
you didn't do
Monster
that-
Mash, I keep breathing fire and burning my friends. What can I do?
Oh, and I am a Rathalos, by
To
the
be
way.
fair, I'm into this. I'm into this new format. Let's scrap every episode we've done and start again. So, how do we help a velocidrome?
Cut off 2 of those fingers, mate, because it's weird. I can't remember if Velocidrome was the one with 7 fingers.
Oh no.
What's that?
Well, Goss Harag's arm, like
Yeah.
his pink arm.
Yeah.
I've never really looked at it before today, but I looked at it today, and it reminded me of do you know Longleat? Longleat is a sort of a big safari park in the southwest of England.
I'm aware of
And
that.
there's a bit there where they had a big seal, a big male seal, and we were like boarding some sort of riverboat, and people were staring and laughing at the seal. I didn't really understand why, and then I looked at it, and I was only about 5, but the seal basically had a raging hard-on that was the same exact colour as Goss Harag's arm, but he was like, he was like
Goss Harag's
rising
sore arm,
around.
you
He
know?
was fucking rising around on top of it. So it was like he was just punishing himself right in front of this huge line to get on this boat with a load of adults laughing at him. And I just had just looking at him. That's why I was so quiet. I was just thinking, oh my god, I was mildly traumatized by a big sea lion's willy.
I really like Goss Harag's armor. I think it might be
Yes.
one of the coolest new armor sets in the game.
Yep, I'm wearing it right now.
Same.
Oh, you must have the boy one, right?
I do indeed. Although
Yeah, stand still,
did-
I want to...
Yeah, I've swapped out the legs for just some layered armor. But the rest of the set is just so,
Of course, like
so
the female armor doesn't get the cool face.
No, it just gets
I think-
a little
Just
headband
horns.
thing like
Yeah.
Sylvie
Yeah.
from Loki.
But I
That
really
looks
do
really
like.
cool.
I think the helmet's like one of the coolest aspects of it, like the mask.
Yeah, the Oni
Um,
mask. Perfect.
Mhm.
We used to have a similar mask, of course, on Tetsucabra. In fact,
Yes,
the
that's
Tetsu
very
one
true.
is a bit more Oni than this one. This one's a little stylized and sleek and almost sci-fi looking. But then you've also got all the pelts and furs. It looks very appropriate for something like a Japanese Oni would wear at a festival or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Plus,
This game has really nice, fluffy textures, so any armor that has a little fluffy bit, I really like.
mm-hmm.
Oh, fluffer.
They've got that fur tech on lock with all the palamutes.
Yep. Man, that wet Narkakuga. Mwah.
That's your
Probably-
benchmark for
probably
a good looking
stinky,
game.
though.
How good does a wet how good does a wet Nargacuga look in your game?
That's what I say in the bars. I'm like, hey baby, you look like a wet Nargacuga.
Should we end the podcast right there and then?
They're like, what the fuck is a Nargacuga?
You're calling me a cougar. I think I'm 5 years younger than you.
So on the kind of mention, of course, the armor looks a bit like an Oni, and with Rise's whole thing being Japanese mythology, yokai, all that jazz, I'm assuming Goss Harag will have a link to some sort of Japanese mythology. No.
Yeah, it's barely even a link. It just straight up is an Oni. Like, Oni are just like the go-to monster in Japanese stories. They're just big, like, hulking brute things. So if like in a Western story, if you just need a generic monster, it's like a troll, right? In Japanese, it's an Oni. They're big monsters. They kind of look like people, but with horns. They generally come in either red or blue, and often they'll come as a pair. And like the blue one is a little more cool-headed, and the red one's more impulsive. So it makes sense. He starts off blue, and then when he gets into rage mode, he turns red. Specifically, he has got the shaggy pelt. Makes him look like Namahige, which are from Akita. I really want to go to Akita and see these things. They're like big straw coats with an Oni big helmet, and they basically just once a year they go around everyone's house and terrify children into behaving.
Excellent.
They just come into your house.
Amazing.
They've got like a big book like Santa's List, but they just like read out all the bad things a kid has done and then like scream at them until they cry so they'll behave for the next year.
But then do they still come back in the next year and do the same thing again?
Yeah, they'll tell them off for different things.
Yeah, but surely that's just diminishing returns. Like, you just accept that you're going to get told off regardless.
I don't
think
think it's
forever.
Yeah, but I think it's fucking terrifying when you're a small child and a big monster comes into your house and yells at you and threatens to eat you.
Yeah, but you know that monster's coming and yelling at you. You've accepted it. It's part of life.
Yeah, but do you remember when you were a child how long a year felt?
Mm.
I was going to say, kids don't have
True,
any concept of time, man.
No, but that's it. You still can't accept that there's nothing you can do to prevent it. There should be some victory
Maybe if you're really good, he doesn't yell at you. I don't know.
Yes, you behave.
Yeah, but if
No, but that's what Andy's saying. He's saying if you behave, does it still come and yell at you? So maybe it doesn't. Yeah.
But then, what is behaving? Like, what's the line here? That's what I want to know.
Right.
If you one time decide to take your brother's, I don't know, snacks.
That's it. Fucking Namahige is coming to get you.
Is that it triggered?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you then rob a bank.
To be honest, I think it's like they're not even really doing it to make the kids behave. It's just the parents think it's funny at this point.
I don't.
Well, Andy's criminal progression.
There is
Take your brother's snacks to robbing a bank. Like, what the fuck? That escalated really quickly.
There is a proverb in Japan that if you lie as a child, you're going to grow up to be a thief.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Andy's not far off how they think.
It's just like that extreme, bro. It's just like really funny picture in my head there.
Obviously, there are way too many different examples of like Oni stories to go into it here. But there's one specific one where the guy goes out to fight an Oni that's been bothering travelers on the way into Kyoto, and he manages to cut off its arm and like takes it home as a trophy. And eventually, the Oni comes back to get its arm and like reattaches it. So I wonder if that's part of why Goss Harag can like grow new limbs, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is an actual Oni power, is to regrow their arms and stuff.
I did wonder if there was a little bit of like the Yeti or the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah, I definitely see a bit of that. But then also, that's just because that's what actual animals that live in the snow look like. Big, hairy, shaggy things.
True.
Because I definitely think... is it Blagonga that's the white one?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's definitely more Yeti, because he's even got the big old forehead.
Does remind me of is it a Wampa? Big
Oh, yeah, he's got big Wampa energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one actually does live on the ice planet Earth.
Damn it! Should have. Damn it! Fuck. Wish I'd have to turn back time so I could do the poem for last week.
Have we done the name yet?
Oh yeah, we did. Oh, kind of. No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
So the Japanese name is Goss Harag, which combines Goshagu, which like means to get angry, and then the Namahige, which we were talking about before, and then the English name is just that, romanized. I think I've been saying it wrong. I think it's Namahage, not Namahige, but whatever.
Sake, that's all you're here for.
You know
I was
what's
actually
gonna
going to mention that
happen now,
there
right?
because I can hear like you can tell you've been in Japan for a while because like when you say like parts of like the names like Kyoto, like you're really putting emphasis like on the way Japanese people might say it.
I mean, I've been here for 3 years. You'd like to think I can say Kyoto
Yeah.
properly at this point.
No, you need to be stubborn and stick to your guns, damn it.
Every time Luke mispronounces something in Japanese at the end of the year, Namahage bursts into his house and screams at him.
I do think the romanized version, though, Goss Harag, it doesn't sound Japanese. It sounds like something that would be in like Nordic folklore or something.
I was thinking, yeah, like Nordic or Slavic or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one.
Maybe it'll be part of like a Nordic thing.
It's so clearly taken from the Japanese, but yeah, it sounds like it something you'd fight in The Witcher or something. So they've done a good job there.
I like that approach from like monsters like names like when they romanize it. Like I prefer that like because it's closer to the Japanese name rather than when they straight up like fully change it. Prefer that.
I feel like they don't change them that much anymore, do they?
Not anymore. Yeah, that's what I say. Like recently, like it was the older games where it was like really different.
Oh yeah, like Leoleus became Rathalos and stuff.
Yeah, like Nibblesnarf or Haporoboka.
Little
Yeah,
Snarf
but
is amazing.
I don't want to live in a world that doesn't have nibble snarf. in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
There
Well,
once was a monster called Rathalos. Everyone thought it was really boss. It breathed lots of fire. It flew up much higher. And now it's gonna melt the ice planet off.
do you know what? That's better than anything I could have come up with, so fuck it, there you go. So join us next week for that one. Thank you for taking the slack from me there, Luke. Until next time, where can we be found?
You can find us on Twitter at Monster Mash Pod. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Anywhere where you can find podcasts, you can find this one. And if you wouldn't mind, it would be nice if you could get in touch, tell a friend about us, give us a 5-star rating and review. Just, share the love. Share that love.
And what should they tweet at AndyMan949?
Please get in touch with AndyMan949 on Twitter and let him know whether he is or is not tennis.
Bye.
Alright, see ya.
Cheerio.
Sayonara.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Tennis.
Cheerio. I've 100% forgotten how to play this game.
I mean, it's no Hunters Legends.
The fact that you've called it something different every time you've said the name really bodes well.
I killed 5. I got a trophy and everything. Yeah, damn those bots.
You got a trophy, well, that's it, you're off the planet then.
Ding.
Oh, genuinely, I'm thinking
Fucking
about
hell,
it.
Andy.
You only have to win 12 games in total. We'll see. Maybe Plants vs Zombies will catch my attention a bit more. Obviously, I got interrupted yesterday.
Maybe you'll
by
look a bit of
Eagles.
tennis.
I'm not even going to download that one, to be fair.
Probably the better. the sports games, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's. I've not heard anything about it, so it can't be good, surely.
You forgot the tennis game.
Tennis wouldn't let them call it tennis if it wasn't good.
So it works. You make a game and then tennis goes thumbs up or thumbs down, depending on quality.
Yeah, if it's shite, they're like, no, you got to call this pong.
Wow, savage attack on Pong this morning. Look who's got his knives out.
You got to
Played pong recently. It's not great.
you got to get the approval of Roger Federer to call your game tennis. If he doesn't like it, you're not getting anywhere.
Is that a long? Well, he wouldn't have been approving Pong, surely. He's not.
Federer's about what, 40?
He was born a tennis prodigy. They just knew he was.
They held the game up to baby Feds, and he just nodded approvingly.
So are we saying that table tennis has been approved as good enough tennis, or
Well, it's not.
do they
No, that's
actually have
ping
solid
pong.
It's
That's not a
not
computer-
good enough tennis.
That's not a computer game though. But Rockstar's table tennis, so Feds was all over that.
Oh, sorry. Only.
Yeah, no,
computer
but
games, I didn't realise that. You didn't
Rockstar's
expect
table
it.
tennis, Feds loved it. He was like, "This is
Okay.
fine. This is good tennis."
But then he played Balls of Fury on the way, and he's like, no,
It's like,
we're not
Then
putting
this
tennis
other
on
called
this.
like,
Balls of Fury.
call this
It was called it Balls of Tennis, but they got rejected.
call this tennis, he said, and I will shit and fart, and he would hate it.
I had a joke I was going to use, but
Oh dear. Well, this is.
there it is, listeners. Jay will shit and fart.
No, I won't. Federer will.
Yeah, did you not get that?
Fuck's sake, you're not keeping up with the conversation.
And he's just shitting and farting it.
They were just stunned into silence.
I'm just trying to remember how to
just
play,
reading
to be
about,
honest.
I'm reading about Tennis World Tour 2 and how it's avoiding a double fault on PS4. That's the article.
Is that the tagline that the journalist has said to use?
Well, apparently the first one was really bad, so I don't know what Federer was thinking.
I think they must have slipped Fed some cash under the table.
Yeah, he is well known for being corrupt.
They were like, no, it's about a five-legged man, you see, he's got... Hey, no! You only have one knee on each leg.
What?
Sorry, what?
What?
What just happened there?
It's just like Luke's exploded at his own joke. Before he even fucking said it.
I was going to make a shit joke, right, about how they got around it by saying, no, it's not actually tennis, it's called 10 knees. And then I was going to be like, it's about a guy with 5 legs. It's only one People are not grasshoppers.
Sorry, is that what? How do you know how many knees grasshoppers have?
They got them weird big legs.
I mean, they have 4 knees or 2 knees or whatever.
I suppose it's only a knee if it's got the kneecaps. Maybe grasshoppers don't have any knees.
No, surely that's not. Well, surely.
You need to ask.
Just think about the name. Surely the kneecap was named after the knee. Like
You
that's
need to
why
ask
it's
Hopper
cap.
from A Bug's Life. I'm
Possibly.
sure he'll tell you.
How many knees you got, mate?
How many knees does the London police officer have?
When you say the London police officer, have you just like merged all police officers of London into one grotesque
It's-
form?
A big
Yeah.
amorphous police officer ball, like
Just a writhing
yeah,
mass
like
of
from-
knees, is it?
Oh well, if it's one of those balls, they have loads.
it's
of
you
these,
know
so we couldn't
like the big
possibly
blob from
Literally have to sit there and
Akira
count it.
or from inside.
tell demon souls.
Yes, Demon Souls.
Thanks.
Excuse me, I'm playing
No,
through
no,
that
not the
currently.
phalanx.
Do not spoil it, thank you.
What
I
are the
think
Got that boss already, so
Well,
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of the ones at the Tower of Latria.
I hate the Tower of Latria. Shit.
Everyone hates the Tower of Latria.
Why is it so fucking dark?
It's very much the blight town of the Demon
Oh
Souls
no,
world.
the worst one is the Valley of Department. That's blight town.
I don't know.
That's the poison everywhere, swampy, bad times.
It's only bad right
That's
at
what
the end.
that's what
bad all
Miyazaki
the
had on his design notes for the Valley of Defilement. I want some swampy bad times, lads.
Swampy bad times. Hard game.
Oh, is it? I haven't heard that before.
Well, listen, it is. There you go. You've heard it now.
So Muss has spoken. So it is written.